Welcome to my red Searing Strike Mercenary build showcase. That was a mouthful. So, uh, in a nutshell, what is this build? This build is very similar to the Nightblade Assassin um, that I made a video about. This build has 3 generators and then 1 nuke spell that increases damage per each purple gem. So the more purple gems you generate, the stronger it gets, up to a maximum of 11% bonus damage per each purple gem. This is a mercenary exclusive build because it uses Searing Strike, that is a mercenary exclusive spell. And as you can see, it increases damage per either red or green gem. However, this build is mono red. I don't use any green. I think it's harder to pull it off if you use 2 different colors. It maxes out at 8% 11 instead of 11%, but the idea is the same. Use multiple gem generators and then use this spell to blast the enemy. Is this a strong build? Not particularly. Obviously, if you work on it and get very good equipment, yes, it can hit really hard, but it's not going to be as strong as the Nightblade Assassin. So why use it? Well, it's different. If you like the Mercenary and you want to have a red build that is not a physical build with a Berserker, or a red physical build with a Necromancer, or even a red physical build with the Mercenary himself, but instead an elemental build, and you want to try something different, this is a fun build that you can make. Now, here for starters, as I said, I'm going to use 3 gem generators. Burning Hands, it converts green gems to red and deals fire damage. We have Channel Fire that generates red gems. And we also have Scorching Ray that converts blue gems to red with a chance to generate extra red gems. And finally, Searing Strike, which is the nuke spell for the build. As usual, here in your Citadel, like every other elemental build, put all your points from the Fire Magic tab into Fire Mastery. That will increase both the amount of mana you get per gem when you match or destroy them, as well as the fire damage of your build. And when it comes to your equipment, as usual, work on your starting mana. I know I always say the same. This one has 72% fire starting mana. I'm using a bone ring, as usual. I'm using 2 Firewalker items, the ring and the amulet, for the 2 set bonus that generates, has a chance, has a chance to generate a red gem at the start of the turn. The amulet has a chance to create a bigger red gem whenever a big red gem is created. And the ring has a 25% chance to generate 4 red gems at the start of every turn, but you can use any 2 pieces of this set. I'm also using the track belt from my blue shaman build because it's a good belt for every elemental build. Increases the power by 12% if your speed is higher than your enemies. Is always a solid choice for any elemental build. When it comes to the weapon, like every build that uses a nuke spell, the best weapon is the Dragon King Axe, but the Dragon King Axe is very rare. It can only be obtained in an adventure. So if you want to use a cheaper replacement that is almost as good, go for the Runic Mace. This item gets stronger the higher your mastery is, so it won't be very good when you start, but as you consolidate your build, it will get better and better. Now make sure you don't get a second item from the runic set, so you don't trigger the chance to generate skulls. This is an elemental build. You don't want to generate skulls with it. For the rest of my equipment, I'm also going to use the Crown of the Fallen together with the Mirror of the Forgotten. These two items are also from my Blue Shaman build, but together they trigger the Ancient Dragon set bonus that generates 4 gems in a mix of colors based on equipped spells. I only have red spells, so it will generate 4 red gems every turn. Now, I'm using these items because I already have them from my other build. For this build, my recommendation is to use the Mirror of the Forgotten, which is the chest piece, and together with the Vambraces of the Caged. These are the two best items, in my opinion, to use from this set for this build. Anyway, I have a video on the Ancient Dragon set. Please have a look at it. In Season 3.1, you can get the chess piece, the Mirror of the Forgotten, and in Season 3.2, you can get the Vambraces, which is the arm piece. If you don't like those, you can use the shield or the helm, but I think those two pieces are the best. I just don't have a shield or a helm, excuse me, or the vambraces, so I cannot show them. The rest of the items are whatever I had with either power or fire damage or fire starting mana. This one has fire starting mana. This one has fire starting mana. This one has fire starting mana, as well as the shield has fire starting mana. For any fire build, the sets that you can look to see if there you have any good items are the Firewalker set, that, as you can see, I'm using 2 of the items. The next one is the Flame Tree set that you can also have a look. One great piece of equipment in this set is the Flame Tree Helm that gives you additional starting mana for red spells. I'm not using it because I'm using the Crown of the Fallen for the set bonus, but it's a good piece of equipment if you can get it. And the other one that may have some interesting pieces of equipment is the Dwarven set. This is not red exclusive, but it has some interesting pieces of equipment that you can have a look. I will show you where to find them. In the case of the Dwarven set is in Clockwork Halls, which is dungeon number 4. Here is the Dwarven set. In the case of the Flame Tree set is in the Caldera Crater, which is dungeon number 6. Here's the Firewalker set. Both of them can be crafted. And finally, in the Season 1.2, you can find the Flame Tree set. So have a look, and if you have any good pieces of equipment of any of those sets, consider using them. But as you can see, I just put together what I had in store just to get as much fire starting mana as I could with a 72% chance, together with these two items for the extra gem generation, the two fireworker items also for the extra gem generation, and everything else is, well, a bit all over the place. When it comes to attributes, you want obviously fire starting mana as much as you can get. You want power on each one of your armor pieces. Like here, for example, this Crown of the Fallen has power in it. And you want fire damage. As I said, this is for my blue shaman build, but you want fire damage in, if possible, all your 12 pieces of equipment, if not, well, as many as you can afford. Here, I have one piece of equipment with additional fire damage. I think it's the shoulders. No, it isn't. I can't remember which one is it. Maybe the necklace. Yes, here it is. Plus 10% fire damage. But try to get it in as many as you can. And when it comes to defensive attributes, as usual, you want to invest a little bit on melee and missile resistance if you want to do high level events. Also, if you can get a Castuli helm, if you can afford to use one, or I already mentioned the Flame Tree Helm for the starting mana, but if you don't have one of these and instead you have a Drax Helm, it also helps when you're starting because you will start the battle with haste that will increase the amount of mana you get from matching gems by 50%. None of the spells that I'm using in this build are expensive. Burning Hands is only 135, Channel Fire also 135, Scorching Ray 130, and Sim Strike only 110. Now, after you have high level spells and you have consolidated your gear, you may consider other spells, like for example, Shakedown. It's only 130 mana. It deals fire damage and destroys skull gems, which can be useful to get rid of those skull gems that you are not going to use anyway. Or any other fire dealing spell, uh, for example, Blast of Corruption, if you are using some possessed pieces of equipment, or if you want to use it, or no, not this one, which was the other one? Oh, yeah. Burn the Dead is similar to Shakedown, but it's generic instead of a Mercenary exclusive, but it also deals fire damage and destroys skulls. You also have Wall of Fire. This is a defensive one. This is Fireball. Yes. Deal fire damage and remove green gems. You have multiple options for additional damage. Now, most of the Mercenary exclusive red spells are physical in nature. For example, Confident Slice is melee damage and generates skulls. Bounty Hunt deals missile damage, which is also physical, and it has a chance to add more grid stacks, which will increase your critical hit damage. And Greedy Rage deals also melee damage. So for a pure elemental build, those are not good spells. They are good for a physical build. And basically, that's it. So let's see it in action. I'm gonna go for a low level dungeon, only difficulty 5, which is level 75, because I don't have very good equipment for this build. I just want to showcase how it works. But as I said at the start, it's basically the same uh, concept as if you are using the uh, Assassin's build. Now, I don't want to match any of the blue gems because of um, Scorching Ray. I prefer to leave them for the next turn, but I'm gonna match this one so the opponent doesn't do it because they usually go for the big gems first. Okay, let's end the turn. Yeah, as you saw, it went directly for the 5 gem. This is from the armor or the Forgotten. The enemy is blinded, and if the enemy is blinded, the armor. What are you? Yeah, here, Mirror of the Forgotten has a chance to generate a flashbang gem. It's not ideal, but it's not too bad either. So let's start using the spells, starting with Burning Hands. Next, we go with Scorching Ray. Next, Channel Fire. Okay, we got the Stunning Row, which is great. And finally, use Searing Strike. As you can see, the damage is not very high because, well, first of all, it's only epic, but also it's only plus 5% gem on the board, and the base damage is not as high as the other spells that it can compare to. So as I said at the start of the video, this is not a particularly strong build. It's just a fun, goofy build that you can use for something different. We got this long yellow column, which I don't like, but there is nothing I can do. So, okay, let's start with Burning Hands. Maybe we can get a row at the top. This is not very good. And now we're just missing one. Maybe we can have a bit of luck. Okay, we got lucky. There it is. Excellent. Searing Strike that kills, and the next enemy will be stunned. Let's go for the armor because the weapon damage doesn't help an elemental build, it's only for physical builds. And let's keep this gem for the next turn in case we need to destroy and try to get something good. All right, so let's start again. Burning Hands, Scorching Ray. It doesn't matter if we get a stunning row because he already has the barrier, so he cannot be stunned for this turn. Okay, he will die in the next turn. That was a good one. So let's resolve. I should be able to take the hit. Yeah, perfect. I blocked it. That's excellent. And he should die right now. Let's see if we can get a stunning row for the next enemy. 1, 2. There it is. We're safe. So let's blast the spells. And he's out. And we are against the boss. Again, very lucky. More armor. Let's go for the boss. Go for it. Okay, so now he's got a barrier, so we don't really care about this. This doesn't really help us in any way, shape, or form, but I rather get rid of them so I can get more stuff. Probably shouldn't have done that because I got many unwanted matches, but it's okay. Okay, and Searing Strike. Yeah, this is not gonna kill in the next turn. That was unlucky. As you can see, the ultimate skill doesn't really help us in any way, shape, or form, but it's okay. We got our stunning row right here, so we're safe for this turn. Okay, and Searing Strike, and he will be dead next turn. He's gonna be stunned for this one, so we're safe. And yeah, as you can see, not a particularly strong build, but again, my equipment is very low level. Obviously, if you can increase power and increase fire damage, you can get to a solid high level build and have fun with it. And that's basically the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.